Hello everyone, this is Carly from Creatively Graphics, and today I'll be showing you how to 3D model the Vambrace or something similar for your own cosplay armor. So first we're going to open up a Fusion 360 project, and you're going to want to go up to Insert and hit Canvas, and this is where you're going to import your sketch or drawing or whatever you chose to do for my sketching tutorials. And then you're just gonna choose whichever one you have on your computer or tablet or whatever tech you're using, and you're going to want to scale it up to the proper size. One thing that I find helps me is using the line tool. I sketch out the dimensions of how big I want the print to be, because then once you put it into the slicing software, it's going to be scaled correctly and you won't run into some problems that I did when I first started doing 3D printing. And then you're just going to scale it to the proper size that you want using the guidelines if you want to. And then from there, we're going to go in with the line tool, and I'm going to just draw along the lines that I have for the sketch. Again, the lines are not super accurate, but I'm going to just do it by eye, and again, you can also use guideline measurements for this. And the double gray lines that you see show up on the blue lines of the sketch are just saying that these lines are parallel to one another, which for this particular piece, that is something that we are going to want. So that's a helpful tool that the software uses to And now I'm going to start adding the circles, and these don't need to be the exact same number as the ones on the sketch. They can be. It's just, again, a aesthetic look and and you're going to want to make sure that if you have, let's say, like 10 circles on one side, you're going to want to have 10 circles on the other, and they're going to need to be the same size. And a great way to do this is to copy and paste and then drag over using the arrows, and that will just make sure that they're in the same, like they're horizontal with one another. And another thing you can do is basically draw a line where you want the center of the circles to be from one part of the vambrace to the other, and then line the centers of those ellipses or the circles with that line, and that will also give you a more uniform, clean look. And we're just going to do that to the right side as well. And then from here, you're going to want to create a cylinder that has the same curvature of your forearm. And you guys will see that there are a few changes that I made in between the recordings of the tutorials. These are just aesthetic looks that I liked, but you're going to want to make sure that the cylinder itself is thick enough and big enough to have the entire sketch inside of it. Because if it is not, then there are going to be particular parts that don't extrude properly. And then once you are ready to extrude, you select the sketch that you're going to be using and select each part of the piece of the vambrace that's going to be the same thickness. And you can do this on a Mac by hitting the Shift key. And then you're going to hit E for extrude. And for the starting point, you're going to want to take it from profile plane and change it to object. And you're going to want to select the cylinder that we created earlier. For the direction, you're going to want it to be one side. And for the distance, which is basically asking how thick you want this piece to be, that's completely up to you. Lastly, for the operation, you're going to want it set to new body, because that's going to create a separate system of bodies that aren't going to be joined to, or joined/connected to the cylinder. And in this newer version that I'm creating with the cuts out, I just thought that was a really nice look for it, and that line is also going to be used to create the one part of the vambrace is going to be thicker, and then the part near the curved end is going to be thinner, so there's going to be kind of like a notch per se where they can overlap more easily, which is something I forgot to include in the earlier sketch. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial today. Please like the video, feel free to comment and subscribe and ask any questions. I hope you guys have a great day.